Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are opening up a profoundly insightful Eastern philosophical text to uncover the real mechanics behind fate, karma, and how we can actively transform our lives. The whole focus we're unpacking today centers on an incredibly powerful concept. Dissipating calamities and easing trials lies in true repentance. It's an amazing journey into understanding exactly how our actions shape our reality. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever felt like you're just a victim of circumstance? You know, like your destiny is totally fixed, written in stone, and you're basically just along for the ride? It's a universally relatable feeling. We so often think of fate as something handed down from above, something we just can't fight. But what if that completely passive mindset is the exact thing keeping you stuck? What if actually you're the one holding the pen?
So, here's our roadmap for the explainer. 1. The illusion of fate. 2. Decoding karma and trials. 3. The power of true repentance. 4. Steps to genuine remorse. And 5. Saving others, saving yourself.
Let's jump into Section 1, the illusion of fate. Who is really in control? Right off the bat, we're introducing a radical idea from the source material that suggests our fate is completely malleable. The text we're analyzing is a deep dive into Eastern Dharma and destiny, and it fundamentally challenges this idea that we're just at the mercy of the universe. Instead, it teaches us how to shift from being totally controlled by our past to actively defining our future. It points out that the huge differences we see in life, wealth, poverty, beauty, hardship, they aren't some random lottery. They are direct results.
To really grasp this, we've got to clarify a super misunderstood term, karma. Now, karma isn't just cosmic punishment. It's not out to get you. As the text defines it, karma is simply the accumulated energy of your past thoughts, words, and actions. Literally every single thing you do, say, or even think doesn't just vanish into thin air. It leaves a trace. It generates an energetic blueprint that actively shapes your current reality. So if your fate is just a reflection of your own past actions, well, that means you have the absolute power to change it by changing your current actions.
There is this fantastic quote from Master Ji Gong found in the text, "Destiny is in your own hands. Only the weak let fate control their lives." This is absolutely crucial. It's the core premise we're working with today. We are in the driver's seat. Waiting around for your luck to just magically change or trying to somehow cheat your way into good fortune, that's not the answer. You've got to take the wheel.
Moving to Section 2, Decoding Karma and Trials. Why do we face hardships?
So, the crucial point is, if we're the ones in control, why do we still face seemingly inescapable bad luck, sickness, and all these hardships? Well, we need to completely reframe how we view life's obstacles. The text explains that hardships aren't unfair punishments just raining down on you for no reason. They're actually trials. They are vital stepping stones for our spiritual elevation, and frankly, they're necessary opportunities to pay off our past karmic debts. Think about it, without these trials, we wouldn't grow. We wouldn't ever be forced to look inward and evolve.
And honestly, we have a lot of evolving to do. The source material introduces this staggering, almost mind-bending concept. Human souls have been accumulating karmic debt through ignorance and endless cycles of rebirth for 60,000 years. 60,000 years! Just let that sink in for a second. That is a whole lot of making mistakes, acting out of greed, anger, and ignorance. This massive accumulation is exactly why just doing a couple of superficial good deeds here and there isn't going to be enough to clear the slate. You are literally fighting a mountain of energetic debt.
Which brings us to Section 3, the power of true repentance, the mechanism of change.
So if our karmic debt is truly that massive, how do we ever get out from under it? Well, the text provides the ultimate loophole to clear this debt and dissipate life's calamities. But we have to distinguish between ordinary repentance and true repentance. Ordinary repentance is kind of what most of us do, right? We make a mistake, we feel guilty, we say, "Oh man, I'm so sorry," and then a week later we do the exact same thing again. That does absolutely nothing to clear your karma. True repentance, however, means finding the absolute root cause of your bad behavior, making amends, permanently correcting the action, and actively generating merit to offset your past.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the mechanism works. By practicing true repentance, you are literally severing the root of bad karma. It completely stops the cycle of creating new debts. At the very same time, by elevating your moral character, you begin to actively chip away at the old debt. It's essentially a two-pronged attack: stop the bleeding and heal the wound.
I absolutely love this metaphor from the text. It says, like changing a cup of water into a wide river, True repentance dilutes karmic impurities. Now, the law of karma doesn't just vanish. Justice still exists. A drop of poison in a tiny cup of water? That's deadly. But if you practice true repentance and expand your merit so much that your life becomes a wide, rushing river, well, that same drop of poison gets totally diluted. The bad karma is technically still there, but its negative, calamitous effects are minimized to the point of being totally harmless.
All right, Section 4, Steps to Genuine Remorse. How to practice true repentance.
We've covered the theory, but how do we actually do this in our real everyday lives? The text lays out a highly actionable 4-step process. Step 1, waking up from ignorance. You have to actually realize and admit you're doing something wrong in the first place, which, let's be real, requires stripping away a lot of ego. Step 2, bravely confessing the fault. Don't hide it, own it entirely. Step 3, correcting the behavior permanently. Now this is where most people fail. True repentance requires outward, lasting behavioral correction. And step 4, accumulating merit. You must actively do good things to balance the scales of your past mistakes.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this profound insight. Heaven has no unrepentant bodhisattvas. Think about that. Even the most enlightened beings, the saints and sages, they didn't start out perfect. No way. They achieved their elevated status not because they never messed up, but through constant, rigorous self-correction and true repentance. They were absolute masters at fixing their own flaws. Finally, Section 5, Saving Others, Saving Yourself. The ultimate action. Here's the thing. Just fixing your own internal flaws and finding your own little Zen bubble of inner peace, that isn't the finish line. The text heavily stresses that external action is what erases debt. Your inner cultivation has to pair with outer guidance. Remember, you have a 60,000-year karmic debt. Just being a nice, quiet person isn't going to pay that off. You have to step up and help others awaken from their own ignorance. By guiding others, you repay heaven's grace for the chances you've been given. Saving others is the ultimate, absolute, most powerful way to generate the immense merit you need to clear your own massive karmic debt and guide your soul to spiritual perfection. And you know, once you truly understand this entire mechanism, your perspective completely shifts. Master Zhigong tells us, when facing storms of life, have gratitude. They are stepping stones to heaven. This perfectly contrasts the ordinary mindset with a true cultivator's mindset. Instead of complaining about your terrible fate when a storm hits, you actually feel profound gratitude. You recognize the storm for what it is, a desperately needed opportunity to test your repentance, burn off some old karma, and grow much, much stronger. Which leaves us with one final, vital question to ponder today. The next time you face a major challenge, a calamity, or a deep frustration in your life, how are you going to view it? Will you see it as an unfair punishment handed down by some fixed, unchangeable fate? Or will you see it as your ultimate opportunity for true repentance, stepping up to take the pen and rewriting your own destiny? The choice, as it always has been, is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I truly hope this empowers you to transform your journey.